Today we're going to talk about why you're going to mess up, and that's okay. Especially in computer science and IT, you're going to break things, you're going to mess up, and that's totally fine. So yeah, let the yap session begin. So a little bit of background. For whatever reason, over the last few weeks at work, I've made some pretty scuffed commits. The code itself was good quality, and it did in fact solve the problems it was designed to fix. Only problem is the changes occurred in common code, common code meaning code that is used in multiple places in enterprise software. So one tweak here, one if condition there, one small change to the UI component can have catastrophic effects that can snowball. I mean, overall, being assigned common code is a good thing. In my opinion, it means that your lead or the seniors trust you. However, scuffing them fills me with terror, and now the imposter syndrome is coming back, and I feel like I'm trash, that I'm gonna get fired, or that I will never amount to anything. So yeah, if that sounds familiar, then this is the video for you. So unfortunately for me, I don't know what it is. I guess I've just been lacking this the last couple weeks / month, and I've had 3 instances like this in the past couple months, but luckily they were not catastrophic things, and I recovered quickly by providing a working solution that was thoroughly tested in a short period of time. So that's good. I recovered. That's the main thing. When you mess up, how do you recover? It's just not good, and having to make more deployments for small things like that isn't good, or at least my lead doesn't like doing that. So long story short, my lead sends me a message on Teams to the tune of, "I have noticed some issues with your commits. Friendly suggestion to put more time in testing locally." Yeah, not a good feeling. And I'm not going to put all my self-worth on this guy, but I do respect him. He's very knowledgeable, and I don't want to make his job harder. Bad code changes creeps into prod. So that's kind of the background for this. But you know what? These things do happen. It's how you learn, and it's okay for these things to happen, and that's kind of the background here. And yeah, let's unpack that a little bit. Let's dig into that. It is pretty irrational to think that everything is over and then you're going to get fired over a few mistakes. So what do I mean by that? If you were to get fired over a couple of mistakes, then wow, your job sucks ass. And while getting fired is not good for the finances, you don't want to stay in a bad work environment anyway. Again, it's okay to make mistakes. It's going to happen. It's how we learn in this industry. I feel like saying mistakes and put effort into using each mistake as a teaching moment, and then move on. Apologize if needed, and again, move on. The biggest thing from making a mistake, especially in software development or engineering, is how well do you recover? Just focus on recovering. Some people might be a little upset with you, so again, you just apologize and move on and recover well. Software engineering, development, IT, whatever, is not easy. That's the other thing I want to remind people. This stuff is not easy. It's hard. It's hard as heck, right? And companies have gotten obsessed with delivering fast, that developers have gotten it in their heads that they need to work as fast as possible, and it's not their fault. Management reinforces these ideas. For example, Agile was conceived to protect developers and give them a space to advocate for development requirements, with the most important requirement being time spent to do the job right. In practice, this is not the case. Project managers are obsessed with story point conversions, not because they don't understand Agile, but because management wants software done immediately, and they put pressure on project managers to deliver. They want software to be profitable ASAP. And if there's any old heads in this video, or just if you're aware at all, I don't know, I find that really funny, but it's because in many cases, that's just not how it works, but they don't care. And I feel like project managers have largely become watchdogs for management. Now, not all project managers and teams suffer from these problems, but considering the level of burnout plaguing the IT industry, I think it appears that, or I guess what I'm trying to say is it does appear that this is becoming more common. Just look at the amount of software releases in recent years that were flops or were janky on release. I promise you, most developers want to do a good job. Nobody wants to release bad software, but in a lot of cases, project managers, management, and stockholders want things done yesterday. I'm not going to get into it, but look at the gaming industry. I think that's a great example. My point here is that developing software is nothing like manufacturing a car. Companies want software products to be mass produced, but they can't. Most software, if not all, is unique. It exists to solve specific problems, like real or not, because let's be honest, like a lot of companies like invent a problem so that they can sell you a solution. That's a whole other topic. The most important thing here is software is handcrafted. There's a lot of recognizable patterns like across like different frameworks and stuff, and there's a lot of the same boilerplate, sure, and AI software agents can maybe do a lot of this work for us. They can't be architects. They can't catch bugs effectively yet. All they can do is the most mundane work. And I'm a firm believer that a human can solve a complex problem more efficiently than AI. Sure, AI can do it fast, but in most cases, it can't do it right. And efficient doesn't always mean fast. And I feel like that's the key here, that people who have the deepest knowledge got knowledgeable because they struggled through problems, because they made mistakes and they broke things. Whether they were new or existing, it doesn't matter. They broke things and f***ed things up. The profit motive has turned things upside down, and there are people who know AI is trash, for instance, but will use it anyway because it's cheaper to pay someone to fix AI's mistakes than to hire a new junior dev. Even the AI is f***ing software up. I know I kind of just like pivoted to AI out of nowhere, but I promise it's related. Even the AI is ruining things and breaking things. But see, that's the point. The point has always been like breaking things so that we know what not to do and then we fix it. We've always learned by messing things up in this industry. It's just now we are getting far too risk adverse. I know this all sounds kind of doomer, but it's not. Keep messing things up, keep breaking things. Yeah, it sucks ass when dev or production goes down, but in most cases it's actually not the end of the world. It's how developers learn. I understand not having a job is scary right now, but any company / team or whatever that punishes people for breaking things and messing things up is not a group of people you want to work with. Trust me. And for those of you who are struggling to find work right now, who are fresh out of college and can't find a job, I know this makes things like kind of sound bleak, but it's like, you know, you don't want to work for a company that's going to not give you the space to grow. And that's really hard right now because if you have like less than 5 years of experience, you're basically like radioactive right now. Like, God forbid, if I had to like look for a new job, I'd be cooked. Not because I'm dumb or I'm incompetent. Like, I think I'm decent. I don't think I'm a genius, but I think I'm decent. But by the like just by the sheer fact I've only been in the industry for like 3 years, like I'd be cooked. So whatever. One more point I want to drive home on this particular subject is like, obviously if you do something like really stupid that endangers your team or makes everyone else's job harder, then there might be consequences for that. Like, I'm not talking about like catastrophic, like real failures, like doing something really bad and like messing things up like really bad, and like, you know, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like really small things that, yeah, obviously it's not in your best interest to make like small mistakes like that because it could have snowballing effects, but it's not the end of the world, you know. So I just want to make that clear. I'm not talking about like real catastrophic problems that could have real consequences, as opposed to really small things that cause like really small inconveniences that that project managers or management is like overreacting to. Don't bend over backwards for people. Just do your job. Otherwise, you're putting too much pressure on yourself. For most of us working in the corporate world, this is kind of like a no-brainer. It's kind of an open secret that most people do as little work as possible to not get fired. I'm also an advocate for do what's needed to be done to keep your job, but also do what's needed to be done not to make other people's jobs harder. Have some solidarity with your coworkers. Even if they don't realize that you guys share the same struggle you do, that's one thing. Do what you need to do to not get fired, but don't be selfish. Don't make other people's job harder. This is, I don't know, the fact that people kind of just do whatever they need to do to not get fired, it's kind of an open secret. It's super evident in like high paying, like cushy office jobs, as well as like middle management jobs. This is such an extremely privileged like strata of workers, and it shows. And my experience with working with a lot of these people is that I could not tell you what they're actually doing, especially like middle managers who make like twice as much as me. Like, I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do. I don't think I've ever seen them, like, work. I'm not saying they don't work, but it's like, I don't know what they do. And personally, I don't care. It's none of my business. Just don't make my job harder. Don't work too hard either. If you work in IT or software engineering or development or networking or your DevOps, or basically you work in IT, like you have a computer science background, put time and effort into learning and gain deep knowledge so that you can remain employable, but also so that you know what you're talking about. But don't go above and beyond, because in most cases that will just get rewarded with more work. For example, my lead is extremely protective of our apps. Some of them have very old code. I'm talking like Java 8. And he wants to personally review most, if not all, commits because he does not want to deal with problems in production. I don't blame him. Unfortunately, he effectively has made himself a single point of contact or failure, depending on how you frame it, for our projects. Yeah, that's not good in my opinion. This will stall things if you have completed tasks and he's not like available to review code changes or approve commits. He's creating more work for himself and manufacturing more responsibility for himself. Now, context is everything. I believe he has his reasons, but regardless, he's going above and beyond for things at his detriment. He's not reaping any rewards or extra compensation for his labor. And there's a lot of unpaid overtime in this industry, and for what? Nothing. Like, some asshole will get a 6-figure bonus because you spent the weekend debugging an exception in dev, not even prod, in dev, because someone else thought it was clever to break a while loop using an exception. Like, that's awesome, cool. So my point is, don't put so much pressure on yourself to prove to others that you are competent or good. Most people do not care. If you set expectations super high and then you don't deliver the same output of work in the future, people are going to think that there's something wrong. Prove that you are competent by just doing what you're asked and nothing more. Take the pressure off of yourself. Easier said than done, I know, but please, I am begging. Your life, your sanity, your mental health is not worth it. No job is worth it. Avoid catastrophic failures if it can be helped so that you don't get fired, obviously. But small failures here and there is how you learn. It's how we all learn how to do this. And anyone who says otherwise is lying, even the gifted genius programmers that were writing assembly from the womb. I've yapped long enough, but just to kind of wrap things up, working sucks, but make the most of it. I just really wanted to rant about the IT industry and work culture a bit. I will say I do have it pretty good. I'm not overworked. I have to work overtime sometimes, but it's not often, and my team is super understanding and nice. It just sucks that problems that this industry has still kind of creeps in every now and then, and it proves to show that even good teams and organizations can't avoid it. Working sucks. Most people would much rather do other things. Instead, we work 40 hours a week, usually more. Most of us work 50, 60. We just don't get paid for it. All the more reason that if you have a decent job, just do what is asked of you and nothing more. Use that sick time if you're feeling burned out. Use the vacation time, PTO, whatever. It's your time. The company owes that time to you, and you're not anyone over by taking time off. If anyone tries to make you feel bad because you're taking time off, then leave that job. They can. So anyway, yeah, that's my rant. Thanks for stopping by. See you later.